Guys, we got a lot of people around tonight, so let's just take our normal precautions to make sure the wheels stay covered up, make sure everything is okay and doesn't get tampered with all those people around. Left side on the restart. Pit road is closed.
Hello everybody, this is TA Drag Racer. I'm here at IMOLA in the European Sprint Driving Series, driving the C8 Corvette. Bought this car a long time ago to play with it. I'm in the A class now. This is an A class race. I wanted to go to a race. Unfortunately, I'm the only one in my class, as you can see by the grid on the top left. So there's going to be a lot of faster cars on here than me. It's a 60-minute race with one pit stop. Hope you enjoy the race. It's a long race with me not racing too many people and getting passed by a lot of fast cars. So I wouldn't suspect anybody would sit around too long and watch it. But I wanted to put my content up as much for my own enjoyment as anything. So I hope you enjoy it as well. I'll try to make the conversation as enjoyable as possible. Base car's off up there.
Line up behind the door. Behind the 7.
I guess I could go ahead and take off. I don't know. There's 3 different splits. We'll give them a little room. I'm going to run over top of them.
Pace car's off. Are you ready? Green flag.
The C8 Corvette handles exceptionally well. I haven't raced much on IMOLA, but it's a really fun track, and I learned a lot in this race. So basically, I had an hour time trial. Hate to have a spoiler alert, but I did win my class. Of course, I'm the only one in my class. The spotter pack I'm using, I really enjoy, is the Jimmy Johnson spotter pack. They have a lot of more phrases, a lot more interaction than Crew Chief. You can get an add-on for Crew Chief to have Earl put in there, spotter, which I've done that as well. But I like their call-outs. It's not as repetitious. There's a lot more phrases they use. It's been a fun addition to my sim racing package. It seems to be just as functional as Crew Chief. It doesn't have some of the features of Crew Chief, like refueling your car if you wish to do that. But check it out. Just search for JJ Spotter Pack on your search engine. It should come up to the website.
1:59.132.
It is located in dwarehouse.com. You might want to give it a try. It's a fun addition, especially if you're doing NASCAR type racing, oval racing. It works well in the road racing too, so I've just left it on. I'd also like to mention my Race Lab apps, which you see on the screen. They keep improving those, keep doing lots of additions. You can configure it how you wish to have it, put whatever you want on the screen, what you don't have on the screen. The only thing I leave on in the default iRacing setup is the black box. I have it turned off right at this moment. Don't need it. But you can do about everything from the Race Lab apps. You can see on the bottom left, there's a fuel calculator. It calculates your fuel per lap. You can have it do averages, or as you can see, it has different usages there, and calculates your refueling. It will refuel you. It shows you when the pits. 1:45.898. Shows you when the pits are open, so you can plan your pit strategy. If you look at the little bar on the bottom, when that yellow tick goes into the green bar, the pits will be open. That's when you can refuel for the race. At the top it says plus 5.7 gallons. That's what it's calculating right now that I'll need to finish the race. I think I have an extra 0.3 laps added to the default. And there's several ways you can configure it. It's a pretty handy little app. Another nice feature about the apps, you can make layouts. This is a standard layout I have set up that I can just pull over. You can have multiple layouts so that if you need to make some changes, occasionally some of the different cars you need the boxes or the apps, the windows you have open, you want to put them in different places. You may not want to have the same windows. But you can custom configure for each car, each series, however you'd like to do it. Really customizable. And that's if you have the paid version. I think I paid, I don't know exactly, something like $30 subscription for the year. I figured it was just like, it was worth it for me. It's not worth it for everybody. There are some free aspects to it. You can get quite a few of the apps on here in the free pack, so you can definitely just download it and give it a try and see its functionality. And if it's something you'd further like to explore, you can consider subscribing to it, which I do because I enjoy it. I'm not sponsored by them in any way. It's just my own personal view. It's just my own personal view about the apps. But I would at least give the free version a try. See if you like it. And you can go with the free version as long as you like. I definitely like supporting people that are contributing to the sim racing community. That's another reason I didn't mind subscribing. I don't just throw money away. It's something I want to use, but I found this useful. It's my first time racing the C8 Corvette. It handles really well. It's a fun car to drive. I'm going to try the Porsche RSR as well, and there's a Ferrari GTE I think in here. I may give that a try eventually. Next race is at Daytona. I think I'm going to race the Ferrari, or not the Ferrari, but the Porsche and that. Give that a go. Hopefully I'll have some more people in my class, just to make it a little more fun race. But I thought since there's nobody in my class, I might as well do the best I can and learn the track in an official race, as well as try to get some safety and iRating out of it. We'll see how it works out in the end. I have raced some IMSA races in the D class. It's a multi-class race. It takes a bit to get used to the faster cars, so this is a good opportunity for me also to get used to these faster cars coming around me and dealing with them without having to worry about a lot of cars in my own class on top of me as well. So even though it's not the most exciting race in the world, I think I'm getting some benefits out of this. As far as sim racing goes, I've been in it now about 10, 11 months. I think August comes up to my first race, sometime in August last year that I had my first race in iRacing, or online sim racing for that matter. Try to keep sim racing fun. Try the different cars, try different classes, try the different games or simulators.
Left side. You are clear.
Racing, even in real life, like when I drag race, it's basically you against the track and your own car. You can't control what the other drivers are doing for the most part. You can block them, you can do some things. This type of race. I was a drag racer, so I didn't block anybody. I had to get excellent lights. I had to have my car tuned. I had to be able to dial in my car so it would run precise numbers. There's races I won and lost in thousandths of a second. It's amazing how close you can get dialing those cars in. That's drag racing. This is road racing. But I have found some similarities. You kind of have to observe what's going on around you, but you also have to... This is a lot trickier than drag racing. I get in traffic, I struggle a little bit still. You have to be able to hit your markers, your braking points, your apexes, your exits. That's what road racing is all about. When you got cars all around you, sometimes you can't see them. It's a lot to learn, and you just have to keep striving to get better at it. That's what I'm doing. I'm 67 years old. I'm never going to be an e-racer or a professional racer, sim racer. I'm on it to have fun, enjoy myself, have some competitive races. I found that in iRacing. Plus the variety of cars and tracks. And when I had the B license, I did the Sprint VRS series for a while. First 3 or 4 tracks were tracks I was pretty familiar with, but after that, each week I had to learn a new track, and it made me a better racer. Now I'm racing a lot more of the Porsche Cup races, because that car seems to make me a better racer as well. The only thing that is a negative about dropping down to like a C-class race like the Porsche Cup or even some of the D-class races, when you have build up some incidences, they punish you very harshly. I've lost up to like 0.9 safety rating in one race. It can be brutal. And then you have to, I think safety is safety. All the cars should be the same. I know A-class drivers are supposed to drive better than C or D-class or rookie class drivers. But you get punished so harshly if they run into you, if it's not your fault even, that it almost doesn't make it work racing some of those lower races. But I enjoy the Porsche Cup, so I'm continuing to race it. If I have a bad race, I may have to race 3 or 4 races just to get my safety numbers back up. That's the way you have to play the game right now. It shouldn't be that way, I don't think. You should be able to go into the lower classes, race. I love the way they do their splits on here, so you usually get into a competitive split. And I don't think, my I rating's not the highest yet. I'm trying to work on it. So I get down in the lower I rating splits, so it's really difficult improving from there. And you don't have a choice to stay in the C class, stay in the D class, work at it until you feel like you're really good at that class and competitive with the best people in the class. It doesn't work that way. You're in there with all types of people, all different classes. And you get promoted. As long as your safety rating is good, you get promoted. So, don't get me wrong, I don't mind. I'm glad I got up to the A class classification. It opens up a few more races. Most of the races seem to open up in the C and B range. But this way iRacing is very successful, so I can't downgrade them too much. So I would like to see them change that with the safety a little bit, so you can enjoy racing all the different series. Either that or make some Porsche Cup races that are A class or B class only races, so you don't get punished so harshly, because they're fun cars to drive. You learn a lot driving them, and they're a current competitive race car, so it'd be nice to be able to just hop in them and not have to race just to try to maintain your safety or something. That's my only problem with that. Maybe as I get better, it won't be such an issue. Sometimes I get in the race and all the damage is self-inflicted. Sometimes none of it's self-inflicted. You're getting run into by people. And that's just the way it goes. What you have to do though when you get in those situations, just try to keep an even, steady mind about it and have fun. Had a cup race the other day on the Nordschleife. I got wrecked into on the first lap. I started out on the grid, I got wrecked into from behind on the first lap. Got some points. I got into another accident. I was going down the Dodger and I was going past a car and then he turned right into me as I was going past him. I mean, those were avoidable, and I ended up with like 10, 11 points at that X at that point. I knew my safety rating was going to go ahead. I still raced and had fun. I was having fun at the race, so I kept racing. Yeah, I took a big hit, but what I'm saying, it shouldn't, especially since probably at least 50% of the accidents aren't your fault, just on average. I don't know. Could be more, could be less. And sometimes you do things, like I was passing the guy. I had probably his rear quarter covered, and then he drives right to the side of me. You know, wasn't much I could do about it at that point. I didn't expect that, especially on a long straightaway. But it happened. I don't fault the guy. I don't think he was being malicious. It was just a racing accident. He may not have seen me back there, or I'm not sure what his viewpoint was, but these things happen. So I believe you should race safely, and I don't mind them doing that, but I think if you're in a race, everybody in that race should be treated the same as far as safety penalties and points. Things like that. I don't know, you can leave some comments about that. I'd like to hear what other people have to say about it. That's my only pet peeve about iRacing so far. Of course the cost can be prohibitive at times. Just do the best you can with that. It is definitely the best racing simulator out there from my point of view. There's some that are flashier, some that have maybe a little better graphics or even better force feedback. But as far as competitive online racing, it doesn't get better than iRacing. And if you take a look at my fuel calculator app, now it says I only need 4.7 gallons. As I've been racing this race, the app is learning my habits, learning how much I use per lap, on average, max, minimum. Keeps all those stats, and it's made an adjustment. And you can see at the bottom that little yellow tick is above the green line now, so that means the pit window is open. If I wanted to pit, I could right now, and I would get 4.7 gallons of gas, so it should take me to the end of the race. I'm not going to pit till a little later. But it helps you decide your strategy. If you want to pit early, trying to use that as a strategy against some of the other drivers, you can see exactly when the pit opens. It's easy to miss a call out for one of your spotters or something. It don't happen for whatever reason. But that's a visual reference you can look at and say, okay, yeah, the pits are open. I can stop there if I want to now, and it's going to take 4.7 gallons of gas. And you can decide whether or not you want to replace tires, that type of thing. It's a very useful app.
48.13.
I think we got a little bit of, as far as sim racing, you know, in the future looks pretty good. It's very prohibitive to get into for some people because of the cost. You can do it cheaper. You don't have to spend tons of money, but it's still got to pay. It's not like just a console game where you just use a controller to play. Even a rudimentary setup that works pretty good, you're going to have a few $100s by the time you're into it. And then the sky's the limit on what you want to spend, just like everything else. But it doesn't necessarily make you more competitive by spending a lot of money. Sim racing, and we're getting some new titles coming down. Hopefully this year Forza Motorsports is going to release. I hope they do change the model and make it more of a sim than just a video game. That would be nice. They have great graphics, they have great tracks and everything, and hopefully they figure out the online part and the sim racing part of it. Makes it worthwhile to to play it with your wheels. I like playing Forza Horizon 5, but it just doesn't knock it out of the ballpark as far as using a sim rig with it. One thing that I like getting in the cars and driving around. One thing I'm annoyed about, it seems like you only get about a quarter turn on your steering wheel, and that's the most you can. You see the animation just stops. It doesn't give you full range of motion like iRacing does. It's more of a video game than a sim. I wouldn't call Forza Horizon a sim. It's a fun video game. But they could do some little tweaks to make it a lot more fun for those of us that have sim rigs. Because you want to be able to enjoy your sim rig. You don't necessarily want to be in competitive races constantly. Just go out and have fun racing in different environments and different cars. And most of the sim titles aren't real strong on single player support. F1 does have a game built into it that's kind of fun. A lot of them, of course, have the bots and things you can race. That's only fun for so long. No matter how much they program them, it's still very predictable on how they behave. Maybe a good way to practice if you need to practice in traffic or something. But if a sim could just come out with a fun online experience, you didn't have to get too sweaty. I think a lot of people would really enjoy it. Just go out and have some fun racing. There should be some safety standards and things. I have no problem with the safety standards on ours. It makes it a more compelling game to race. You spend all this money for a sim racing gear. You want to go out and have a competitive, somewhat safe race that you don't have people just plowing into you for fun, or kids running into you, running off the road constantly. You actually do get in good races. And I've raced for almost a year now, and I can maybe think of one incident where I thought somebody maybe had some malice in what they did on the track towards me. Everyone that I've examined, it's just usually just a racing incident. You have to realize not everybody's got triple screens. I got a single screen. I got a VR headset I can use occasionally. I've only used it a couple times and never for an official race. But I do, as you can see, I have the radar app on here. It's right below the mirror up there. A car comes by me, you can see it. It's really nice for like NASCAR racing because I can't see the cars beside me, but I can tell when left side, right side opens up. I can switch lanes if I need to. Things that radar app's really helpful for that. It's helpful in here because you get the spotter saying, you know, car on your left, car on your right, but you can actually see when they're invading. Watch this car come by me. You can see it on the radar.
Left side.
See, I can tell when he clears me. And I drove. Probably that's what I was doing there, looking at the radar and drove off the track. That gave me 1X. Here comes another one. You can tell when the spot's clear, and if you're throwing about the same speed, it's really helpful because you can get over, switch lanes, pop behind them, do whatever you need to do, and you can tell you're clear. If you're clear off the radar, the lane is clear.
1 minute 55.
And you keep your eyes straight forward. So that's another really nice thing about the Race Lab app. I know, like I said, of course, the competitive zone, he has that built into it. The iRacing doesn't. So that's a really helpful addition for iRacing. I think that's available on their free pack, the radar. So I'd highly recommend you trying it if you have issues with that. I don't like the left-right. I have a Fanatec set up. DB2 with the F1 V.25 wheel, the Formula wheel. I love the wheel. It's not the best for some types of racing, like this type of racing or NASCAR racing. And buttons, there's a lot of buttons to program on them, and I got the look left, look right buttons to program. Sometimes when I'm steering, I gotta really go hard in the corners. I have to shift my hands on the wheel because it's not a round wheel, it's just a little butterfly type wheel. And I'll hit that button and my vision will go off one side or the other. So the radar app has actually saved me in a lot of ways. For my own fumbling with the wheel. I have just ordered one of the Fanatec's round wheels, which I think is going to be very nice in NASCAR races that I like to do, plus even races like this. It's 33 centimeter, which the Porsche wheel in Fanatec is 32 centimeters, so it's about the same. It's a round wheel. I got one that I really like, the looks of. I wanted leather, bonding, I didn't want McIntyre or any of that stuff. Yeah, it's a pretty nice looking wheel. I'll get it next week. Can't wait to give it a try. The game I'm most excited about coming out, it's not coming out until spring of next year. That's the set of Corsa. I hope they nail that online. I hope it just hits a home run. If there was a series I enjoyed racing in that didn't have a weekly cost like iRacing does, of course once you buy everything, like you're like $4,000 or $5,000 into it by that point. But newer racers, it was kind of costly coming up. When I was spending as much a week as I did for entry fees and stuff for my race car when I had my drag car. Slowed down a little bit. I kind of pick and choose races I already have a racetrack, unless it's a track or a car that I really want to buy. But if there was, like I said, of course, a competizione. That doesn't seem to be real big in the U.S. market. Low Fuel Motorsports is an excellent program and supporter of that game. It's mostly European observers and car people. There are some U.S. I'm in the U.S. And I've raced on quite a few French servers in here. I'm okay doing that. Of course, my ping is less. I've got a really good internet. Full optics to my house and the server. The server's only a couple of miles away, so my ping times to the server is like 1 millisecond less. So that helps, but still. get off track, sometimes you just gotta reset, push the reset button like there. So I think it's a 60-minute race. So it's a pretty long race. Only about halfway through it. Not quite halfway. And of course we have Rensport coming up probably later this year. I'm not as excited for that one. It's more like ACC, and I love ACC, don't get me wrong. It's just had a little different entry into the online world. I may just try some of their online stuff. See how it goes. But I started playing when I first got my sim rig. I started playing more ACC than I did iRacing or even the Assetto Corsa. But it's very fun. A lot of good graphics, sounds are great. Get lots of force feedback in the old wheel. May not be the best force feedback of any of the games, but it's good. But it takes so long to get into competitive races. You got to build up your safety rating, which takes a while. Just playing online and playing whatever you can do to get your safety up, and just racing bots and things. That takes a while. Where iRacing, when I bought it, I loaded it. That day I'm in a competitive race, rookie class. I could get out and race. These other games that make you go through lots of jumps and hoops before you do that, they're just missing the ball, I think. So, as I wanted to progress, wanted to race online, and I was progressing in iRacing, I spent almost 90% of my time in iRacing, so now when I jump back into ACC, it's a whole different simulator and game. It takes a little bit to get adjusted to it. So I just stopped even trying to get my low fuel motorsports license for now. Instead of doing that, I'd rather be racing. If they had an entry level where you got in as rookie and you could start racing, build up your safety as you go like here, I think they get a lot more people. That's just my opinion.
1 minute 47.009.
Since this is my main racing focus, it took me a month or two to get my safety rating built up on Assetto Corsa, so I could even go in and attempt to try to get a rookie license, and I haven't even done that in Assetto Corsa Competizione because I just don't spend any time in it. I'm busy racing over here. That wouldn't have been the case if I could have got in there and started competitive racing in there a lot sooner. And after you spend lots of money on your sim equipment, it gets a little disappointing when all the games are 7, 8 years old. A lot of them don't recognize your wheelbase. It's a pain getting them started up. You've all been through it, I'm sure. So you get one sim you really like iRacing, and you hang in there, and they keep this game updated. Graphics, I think, are exceptional for as old as the game is. Gameplay is great. It's not perfect. Nothing's perfect. I've yet to play a perfect video game or simulator. But man, where else can you go out and drive on all these tracks all around the world? And all these exotic cars.
1 minute 48.448.
Nothing like it. Like I said, of course it comes closest. I've never raced an online race on there. Never tried. But I started in iRacing, and that's where I've been. I've been retired from work for 7 years now, going on 8 years. It's become my main hobby. I got a bass boat. I do some bass fishing. I've always been a techie since the early days. A lot of kids think old people don't know anything about video games or computers. Well, my generation pretty much invented them. I started playing video games when I was at least in high school. We go to arcades, play pinball, play early video games, console games they had in the arcades. Had all the consoles grown through the years. Been in PC gaming a few times. I got a degree in computer electronics, which is basically a visual engineering degree. I've worked in that. I've worked in managing servers. I've done lots of techie stuff. Now I'm retired and just enjoying my fruits. It'd be nice to get some more quality games out on the market to have fun with. I just want to have fun.
1:47.795.
Yeah, when I get cut off or run into, sometimes I'll scream and holler like a big baby. I get over it pretty quick.
Left side.
Since I run the Nordschleife, I love the Nordschleife. Fortunately, it's been run a lot the last couple of weeks. You get set up for a half hour, 45-minute race on the Nordschleife, which is 3 or 4 laps, whatever. It's kind of disappointing when you get crashed out in the first lap. 15-minute go back to the pits and see how much damage you have. But it happens. It happens in real racing. Have you have to watch a competitive race on television or on YouTube or anywhere of real cars that they haven't had crashes? It's just nature of the beast. When you're trying to drive things at the limits of your abilities, which may or may not surpass the limits of the car, things are going to happen. I have no illusions that I'm going to be some kind of world great sim driver.
1:49.985.
What I try to do is get through a race with as few incidents as possible, drive the best I can possibly drive, have fun doing it. Yeah, I'd like to win every race. That's never going to happen. I've only won one race since I've been in iRacing. And of all things, that was an Indy car on Talladega. But it's been a very fun journey. Highly recommend it to anybody that wants to try to get into it. Don't overspend yourself. Enjoy yourself. Grass is always greener on the other side. There's always some pedals or wheelbase or steering wheel that you think is a must-have. None of it is. I would recommend getting one of the lower direct drive. If you're starting out, get one of the more affordable direct drive setups. Some of those may serve you for years. Try to get something with at least 7-8 meters of torque. like the Fanatec DD base, which they have in stock now, DD Pro. You get it in the 5 newton meters, the 8 newton meters, get the 8. Big difference. You wouldn't think so, but it is. The Moza stuff, they're getting some excellent products. It was just coming out when I first bought my stuff. So I went with Fanatec. I'm glad I did. I bought a DD Pro to start out. Since sold it, I've upgraded to the DD2, and I like their ecosystem. Yeah, I see all these flashy wheels and stuff people are getting on the other systems. But, in all honesty, the wheels I got are a lot cheaper and they perform just as well. So I'm not concerned about that too much. Fancy display on when I'm driving, I have to purposely look at my wheel if I want to see what gear I'm in. It's got an indicator in the middle of the wheel. It's got the LED lights. I can catch those just out on my peripheral vision as I'm racing. And they're bright enough, I usually use those to shift. But any other information, I keep my eyes on the screen. And what's on the screen? I mean, you see the steering wheel, it's got all the information I need. And I'm going to pay $1,500 for it. Got these apps everywhere. I can change whatever information I need, I can put it on there. I don't need everything I've got on there. The wheel that's showing, I've only got maybe 1 or 2 cars that I don't see the gear, what gear I'm in. So I really don't need the app on the bottom left there that shows like I'm in 4th gear now, as you can see, it shows the RPM range. The telemetry app I really like, because if you're wondering if you're not braking in the right spots, if you're not braking like you should. The accelerator, I was catching myself coming off the accelerator, so I readjusted that. So I like the Fanatec ecosystem. I know there's probably better stuff out there, but I don't think there's better stuff out there that's going to make me better. I did buy the Hoisenfeld Ultimate Plus pedals. They fit the bill for me. Very expensive. I had the Fanatec pedals. They're better set. Load cell, and I had the kit to adjust it. But Hoisenfeld's just in a class by itself, and I'm sure there's some of the other high-end pedals are as well. There's no reason for me to switch from these Hoisenfeld pedals. I have to thank Dave Cam for getting me to spend that $1,200. But I'm glad I did. My wife's not so happy, but I'm glad I did. I sold my DD Pro to get it. Oops. It's time for me to go to the pits. I'm getting tired of this old man. 67 years old, just look at him. I can't stay on the track. I'm driving around by the pit. I don't think I need a pit stop yet. Come on, Grandpa.
1 minute 51.1.
If you're in first place, don't mean you can take a nap. Race that car. It had been a long time since I've raced IMOLA. I think it was just when I was on ACC trying to learn all the tracks. I haven't really raced any races on it other than here. And I enjoy the track though. I'm not the best at it yet. Right now I'm kind of taking it easy for whatever reason. I think the tires are starting to go on me a little bit. As you can see, I'm going to change tires. I got the black box up now to do that. My guess is I'm going to pit this time.
On your right, clear.
watching a Daniel Murad video. He talked about he races them in real life, and he's a sim racer. Excellent videos, by the way. If you get a chance, take a look at his channel. But he's explaining in these races, if you're in the lower class cars, usually you stay in your line and let the faster cars get around you. Yeah, I'm not trying to block them or anything. I'm trying to stay out of their way. If I see 2 or 3 coming, I'll get out of the line of traffic. Especially in this race because I'm by myself. I'm not racing any other racers. Then I'm going to do another lap. That's bad. Not even on full speed. I don't know.
1 minute 53.007.
I don't remember. I did this race like last week. I don't remember why I was so slow right there. I know the tires were starting to go away from me a little bit. Well, I got it floored. Braking a little earlier. Got 2 incidents. It's not too bad. It's an A-class race, so I'm not going to get hit hard by that. I've been developing my iRating since I'm up in the 1200s now, approaching 1300, so I have improved a bit from this race last week. Mostly running the Cup Series on the Nordschleife this week, doing that several times. And I also raced the Honda in the touring car in the Nord. It's 4 laps. Seems like the Honda, maybe one of the slower cars in there, or I'm one of the slower drivers on it. I prefer to think it's a car, and I'm about the only one driving a Honda. I have a race of 25 people, there's usually only 1 or 2 Hondas in it. Everybody's driving the Audi and the one Hyundai. Here we go in the pits. Let's nail this pit.
Come guys, 10 away. 5 away. Yeah, sure mark. Now, turn in. Leaving on me.
Taking a little longer because I'm getting new tires. And we'll go out and finish this race. Looks like I'm about 46 minutes into the race. Just about 15 minutes to go.
Go, man, go.
Picking it up a little bit. I'm getting worried about myself there. Oh man, floor that car. Corvette sounds really nice. I'd love to drive the new Corvette ZR1 around the Nordschleife one time. That'll never happen. I'm talking about in real life. Can't do it here in the sim. Chassis I went with is the Trak Racer Mark IV. It's a very solid aluminum chassis. I've got their monitor mount, chassis mount on there. I've got a 42-inch C2 LG OLED. I also have a 240 Hertz Samsung G7 monitor. But I prefer it's 2K with this. Of course, the LG is 4K. It's just these LG TVs / monitors, the OLEDs, they're just in a league by themselves as far as picture. It has some drawbacks. Screen dims, like when I'm doing my recordings for this. Once I jiggle my mouse, the screen will start dimming. When you're in a game, it doesn't do that. Unless you don't do anything in the game for a long time, it'll probably start getting dark. That's how it's protected where I am. It's only 120 Hertz, which my other monitor is 240 Hertz, and I can get with 2K. I built this computer. It's got a RTX 3080 Ti. I can get close to the 240 Hertz with that 2K. Don't know how the graphics set, but I know the graphics pretty high and still get close to the 240 Hertz with it. But the LGs, the OLEDs, have such quick response. I mean, it's light years ahead of any of the other technologies as far as input response, which is really good for sim racing. I'm running 120 Hertz, but the response is so much faster than even on the Samsung. So I think they're ideal for sim racing. A little bit pricey. I went with the 42-inch models. I got one. I had one on my gaming, my normal gaming. I pretty much paid list price for that one when it came out. But during Black Friday, I got the one on my sim rig for like $7.99, so I couldn't go wrong with that. 42-inch, 120 Hertz OLED LG Z2. Best Buy here in the United States. Enjoy driving it. I'd like to have 3 of them, but my system would never support that. There's a big difference between 4K and even 2K, number of pixels. I think I calculated that a 3-screen 2K setup still has less pixels than just the 4K TV. Or the 4K display. But it can get pretty taxing on your system. You see I got the little display. I got this locked at 121 frames per second, so I'm getting my 120 frames per second. It's got G-Sync. The monitor's G-Sync, so I don't get any screen tearing, anything like that. But I'm running consistent 120 frames per second on 4K. Of course, I don't have tons of traffic on this track. I have seen it dip below that. It's running really steady on this track with this amount of traffic. It's an overall really great experience. Got about 6-7 minutes left on the race.
1 minute 49.188.
Took my best laps from 145.890. Could beat this lap. I doubt that I will. No, lost it. Let off like that running by, but like I said, I'm not racing anybody. No reason to unnecessarily push it. Let him have his good race. If I was racing other cars in my class, I wouldn't have let off. He would just had to find a way around me.
One on the right side, clear.
Well, I've been pretty much watching it. If I stay on my driving line, I usually do go out around me. I had one who was going back and forth, and I was going back and forth.
50.977.
Silly. Fortunately, I didn't wreck. Finally went to one side and he got around me. He kept shifting quicker, and I was staying in my line, and so I got out of my line, and he shifted over where I got, and we just weren't communicating well. As Daniel Murad said, it's best to just stay in your line, that way they know where you're at and where you're going to be, and they can get around you. Some of them seem to be a little bit impatient about that. I've had one guy ram into me while I was in my line before he wanted to go around me. Not in this race, but probably one of the ends of the race. So it happens. So there's a lot of other stuff. Anybody out there excited?